Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jews. But now my kingdom is from another place." And what I want to talk about in this video is about that other place. It's about that power. It's about that faith, that mindset that you can do anything. Utilizing that place, utilizing God's strength, utilizing God's power. And I'm going to talk about things throughout history, throughout the Bible, where God used people in precarious situations and allowed them to no longer fear, to no longer worry, to no longer care about men, to no longer care about their situation, but believed that they could do it because they had deep faith and that they knew that the creator of the universe was in control and that there were things going on all around them that they couldn't see, that they couldn't understand, but they knew that that power was there because that power is still there with us. That power is still available for you, for me, for all of us to utilize so that we can make the most of every opportunity for good, for God, for ourselves, for our families, for those that we love, even for our enemies. Because the Bible says that when you have enemies, when you treat them well, it's like putting burning coals of head on the top of it. Burning coals on the top of their head. They get infuriated because you don't respond with anger. They get infuriated because you don't respond with evil. You got to be bigger than them. You got to be badder than them. And all of this stuff comes from God. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like the video, and let's get started. That was John chapter 18, verse 36. Let's go into 2 Chronicles chapter 32, verses 7 to 8. So we're going to talk about a lot of people that were in tough situations. And a lot of you may be in tough situations. Some from being unlucky, some from your own doing, but that's okay. Because every day that we're alive, we have an opportunity to make things right. Every day that we're alive, we have an opportunity to build the best life that we possibly can and build purses for ourselves in heaven. 2 Chronicles chapter 32, verses 7 and 8. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged because of the king of Assyria and the vast army with him. For there is a greater power with us than with him. With him is the only arm of flesh. But with us is the Lord our God to help us and to fight our battles. And the people gained confidence from what Hezekiah, the king of Judah, said. So I don't want to get into all the particulars of what was going on here, but there was a small group of people that were facing a bigger group of people that felt like they were going to be crushed. And King Hezekiah of Judah told them, point blank period, man up, get strong, get courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Because the king of Assyria and the vast army with him, for there's a greater power with us than with him. So whatever's going on in your life, whether you can't lose the weight, whether you can't make the extra money, whether you have relationship troubles, whether you're having trouble with your family, with your own kids, whether you're a young kid and you don't know what to do with yourself. Never get discouraged. Never be afraid. Because there's a greater power within you from God than there is in the world, which is trying to tear you down, which is trying to confuse you, which is trying to discourage you, which is trying to make you weak. With you, you've got the power of God to help you and to fight your battles. Now, there's a lot of things that you have to do to be able to get that, so that the power of God is with you and is within you. The world just has the arm of the flesh. But what you have, what I have, is the power of God. And he said this to these people, and they gained confidence. And then later on, they went out there and they had victory. So whatever you're facing in your life, whatever you're going through, be strong, be courageous. Have the right mindset. Have the faith that God is going to see you through it. Have the faith that you can accomplish anything. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can go out there and you can take it. You can do it because God is with you. How great is that? See, the world doesn't teach you that. The world teaches you that the government is going to be there to help you. The government's going to do this. Some politician's going to do that. Don't listen to God. Don't follow what he says. God is just some magic, some made up thing that doesn't exist anymore. Or you believe in God? Really? You believe that there's a creator behind everything that we see and feel and everything in our being? Anybody that tells you that, they got a screw loose. Because everything has been revealed to us. Everything is evident before our eyes. The creation, the love, your intuition, society, the universe, things seen and unseen. All of that is the power of God that is within you that can be utilized so that you can do whatever it is that you want. Just like these people were facing the king of Assyria and a vast army that was with them, but there was a greater power within the people at that time that were threatening Jerusalem. And God was with them, and God saved them because they utilized this power. They tapped into it. They had the confidence. They had truth on their side. When somebody doesn't have truth on their side and all they have is lies, they can lie all they want. They can get people to back them up and lie all they want. But the people eventually, they know the truth or they will realize the truth because the lies can only last for so long. And when you have the confidence that God is with you, when you have truth on your side, there's no battle that you can lose. Numbers chapter 14, verses 5 to 12. Do you guys realize the power that's within you? Whatever you're going through in your life, do you know that you can overcome it? You've got vast amounts of secret power. The Spirit of God. When I talk about operating at a higher frequency than the rest of the world, who's crying in their troubles, that has no hope, but you've got all the hope because you've got the creator of the universe on your side. How amazing is that? Numbers chapter 14, verses 5 to 12. Then Moses and Aaron fell face down in front of the whole Israelite assembly gathered there. Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of, I'm going to butcher this name, Jephunneh, who were among those who had explored the land, tore their clothes and said to the entire Israelite assembly, "The land we passed through and explored is exceedingly good. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will lead us into that land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and will give it to us. Only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not be afraid of the people of the land, because we will swallow them up. Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them." But the whole assembly talked about stoning them. Then the glory of the Lord appeared at the tent of meeting to all the Israelites. The Lord said to Moses, "How long will these people treat me with contempt? How long will they refuse to believe in me, in spite of all the miraculous signs I have performed among them? I will strike them down with a plague and destroy them, but I will make you into a nation greater and stronger than they." Whoever you're facing, whatever you're facing, when they don't have God, you're stronger than them. You will be made into an amazing nation, a powerful nation that's greater than them, because they lack depth. They lack conviction. They lack strength. They lack mindset. They lack faith. They just have the faith of the flesh, which is so uncertain, which is disease-ridden, which is here today and gone tomorrow. But what they don't realize is that the soul lives forever. But only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not be afraid of the people of the land, because we will swallow them up. Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them. And I tell you, my friends, never be afraid of the world. Never be afraid of anybody or anything that does not have God, that does not have the truth of eternity, that does not have their heart set on the kingdom of heaven. And that may sound crazy to a lot of people that might be hearing this, but that's the truth, because the world lied to you. The protection is with you that's with God. The protection is not with those that do not have God, because any nation that does not have God, they're ultimately destroyed. And a nation can start with 2 people, and then go to 4 people, and then continue to multiply, just like God used with the founding fathers in Genesis, and then Exodus, and now we're in Numbers. But do not be afraid. And do not be afraid to speak the truth to people when you know the truth, when you know that God is on your side. 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 16. Do you guys see it? Do you believe it? Do you have faith that you can do it? Because I know I'm not crazy. And I believe and I know in my heart, in my soul, in my inner being, that God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Nothing has changed. And God's power can still be utilized for all of you. You just got to believe in it. You got to have the faith. You got to have the mindset. You got to have the strength from Him. 2 Kings 6:16. Do not be afraid, the prophet answered. Those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Think big. You have help all around you. You may be out and about in your day, walking around, doing work at the gym, wherever you're at in the world, wherever you're watching this from. But there are things going on all around you. There's help all around you. There's things that are trying to pull you away from God all around you. And it went on to say in verse 17, and Elisha prayed, O Lord, open his eyes so that he may see. Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked and saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. You've got horses and chariots of fire all around you, interceding for you to help you. You've just got to be obedient. You've got to have the faith. You've got to stick to it. You cannot quit. You got to be people of courage, of strength, of power, of force. You got to be forceful people, forceful men and women. And believe and think bigger. And know that it is a spiritual battle that we're up against. But no matter what you're facing, all of it can be combated with the power of God. Jeremiah chapter 32, verse 21. You got to believe it. You got to know that anything is possible when you utilize the power of God and when you see that you have the help of heavenly beings all around you. Because this is the truth and this is real. Because God said it is. You brought your people Israel out of Egypt with signs and wonders, by a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, and with great terror. You gave them this land and sworn to give them, you gave them this land you had sworn to give their forefathers, a land flowing with milk and honey. They came in and took possession of it, but they did not obey you or follow your law. They did not do what you commanded them to do, so you brought all this disaster upon them. There's an outstretched arm. There's a mighty hand being utilized to help each and every one of us, which can cause terror to your enemies, which can cause terror to the world. The world's only hope is in this life. Your hope should be beyond this life. Yes, we want to live well. Yes, we want to exceed in all facets and utilize all of our talents and make as much money as we can and live the best life that we can to help as many people as possible. But this life is fleeting. This life is short. It's only for a short time. You got to think above and beyond that and understand that what you're fighting for is eternity. And they may be difficult to comprehend when you're out and about in the fight every day in the world. But you've got to keep this mindset. You've got to keep the sobriety of what we're facing. Because when you lose it, that's when you get caught up. That's when you drift away. That's when that's when Satan gets you in his clutches. 1 Chronicles chapter 5, verses 18 to 22. The Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh had 44,760 men ready for military service, able-bodied men who could handle shield and sword, who could use a bow, and who were trained for battle. They waged war against the Hagrites, Jetur, Naphish, and Nodab. They were helped in fighting them, and God handed the Hagrites and all their allies over to them, because they cried out to him during the battle. He answered their prayers because they trusted in him. They seized the livestock of the Hagrites, 50,000 camel, 250,000 sheep, and 2,000 donkeys. They also took 100,000 people captive, and many others fell slain, because the battle was God's, and they occupied the land until the exile. Well, first off, God does not want weak men. God wants powerful men, men of action, dangerous men, like the founders of America, dangerous men who were willing and able to do the things that needed to be done, to do what is right, because God wanted it, because God was in control, and God was utilizing these men for various reasons to accomplish his end. They can handle a bow. They can handle a sword. They were able-bodied. They were in shape. They could move. They weren't sitting around on the couch eating Twinkies all day, watching football, and wasting time and letting their wife boss them around. They were leaders. They were men of action. They were men of integrity. And when they were in the battle, when they were fighting, because they were trained, they cried out to God during the battle. And God answered their prayers because they trusted in him. Who do you trust in? Do you trust in just your weapon? Or when you're in the fight, do you trust in God? Or do you trust in your government, who lies to you a lot? Who uses your bravery to go out there and fight their wars to accomplish whatever it is that they want. But they're not for God. Look at what they're doing. They're anti-God. Who do you trust in? It's God's battle. You got to be on the right side. You got to be willing to put in the work and have the faith. Think bigger. Think above and beyond just the small-mindedness of what you're being taught and what people have been teaching you and what you believe. Do the work. Have the prayer. Have the mindset to be able to be in a position so that you can operate at this higher frequency, so that when you see the world, when you get out there, when you face it, you're like that group of men. They trusted in God. They went out there and they knew it was God's fight, and God gave them and showed them the victory because they were on the right side of truth and they were doing the right things with the creator of the universe. Psalm chapter 20, verse 7. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. Who do you trust in? Do you trust in your vehicle? Do you trust in your money? Do you trust in your pen? Do you trust in food? What restaurant you can go out to tonight? What movie you can watch? All these things that are meaningless, which eat away at your soul, which make you slovenly, which make you unattractive, which has beaten you up over the years, all the alcohol, the drugs, Put all that stuff aside. Trust in the name of God. And trust that the name of God and God's truth and God's power and God's spirit will manifest within you the renewing of your mind so that you can go out there and you can do anything. That you can be courageous, that you can be brave. That you're not just going to trust in yourself, but you're going to trust in something higher than you. Because when you trust in something higher than you, you forget about yourself and you go out there and you help as many people as possible. And that's when you truly live. Isaiah chapter 28, verses 5 to 6. Think big, people. Think big. In that day, the Lord Almighty will be will be a glorious crown, a beautiful wreath for the remnant of his people. He will be a spirit of justice to him who sits in judgment, a source of strength to those who turn back the battle at the gate. God is a beautiful wreath for you. He's a glorious crown for you. He's a spirit of justice for you that are being judged right now. He's a source of strength to any of you that are in the battle, whether it's a real battle or just the battle of life, whatever it is that you're facing, bills, bad decisions, drugs, addiction, things that are waging war against your soul and tearing you down and putting you in a bad predicament, dropping you down a black hole so that you can never come back. God is that strength. God is that source for you to lose the weight and put yourself in a better predicament. I encourage you to repent. I encourage you to get baptized. I encourage you to turn to God and be saved. I encourage you to help as many people as possible, because that's the life to live that's truly life. And then once you figure that out, everything else, the picture becomes clearer. Everything else becomes less hazy. Everything becomes more focused. And you know the job that you need to do. Whether it's helping people know the Lord, or it's being good in business, being successful in whatever it is that you want to go out there and do. God is going to spark the fire for you to go out there and do it. And there's nobody that can stop you. Because when you got God and truth on your side, you are a force to be reckoned with. Faith, mindset, utilizing God's power in conjunction with everything, they allow you to accomplish anything. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. Believe that God can change you and renew your mind. Because we are in a battle. We are in a fight. And the fight is going to be won by those that are on the side of truth and on the side of God. Do you want to fight for a lie? I don't think so. I don't want to fight for a lie. That's why I started making these videos. Because I'm sick and tired of it. And something needs to be done. And even if little old me, by making these videos, can save one person, God utilizing me, his servant, if I can just help save one person, then it's all worth it. But at the same time, I got to make sure that I'm not disqualified for the prize. I got to stay in physical condition. I got to stay focused. I got to stay in the fight. I got to sharpen my sword every day. I got to dig into the word. I got to be a man of prayer. I got to treat people right. But I got to be courageous. I got to be brave, like the founders in the Old Testament. And then the people in the New Testament, the trials that they faced. And I will get into what they did face, because we're going to face it again, and we're facing it now. Listen, I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, please like the video. Please share this video with whoever you think would gain some help, some insight from it, whatever they're going through. Anybody that you feel that would really benefit from this message, please forward this video to them. In the description below, bereanman.locals.com, I created a community, a small community for now, but I want to grow it. I want like-minded people in there so that we can all help each other make it to the ultimate destination, which is the kingdom of heaven, and be with God in the kingdom of heaven. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out.